Hey all, welcome to ShareTrek. This is Raj here. Today I'm taking a year-end review of Beam Therapeutics, what they promised at the start of 2022 and what they actually delivered, as well as areas of concern and hope in 2023. I'll have more year-end reviews, so if you don't want to miss any of them, please press the subscribe and press the notify button. That way you'll be informed as soon as I upload any video and you can watch it at your leisure. But before we proceed, I'm glad to inform that I have enabled the super chat feature. So those of you that have always wanted to support the channel can now actually support me. You will find it at the bottom of every video. And it's 3 dots that you will see at the bottom in the image here. If you click on those 3 dots, you'll see a heart icon. If you press the icon, you can select your level of one-time support to the channel and to me. It's not compulsory, but any support helps keeping the pace that we have set at the channel, especially as we increase the programming and I keep on improving the studio and the sets. So thanks in advance for any help. With that said, let's get started. Welcome back, guys. In January 2022, we had a press release from Beam Therapeutics outlining achievements and outlook for 2022. So I'm going to start from that point. I'm going to track some key commitments made by Beam and then look at what they have done at the end of the year. So this is not going to be a very detailed analysis, but we are just going to look at the major points and we are going to look at what they delivered from them. And at the end of the year, what does it look like? What's going to be the prospects for 2023 and what are the concerns that we may have. So in their first press release, they announced of 2022, they announced the selection of the 4th development candidate, Beam 301, to correct glycogen storage disorder. They also announced the clearance of IND application for Beam 101, setting the stage for phase 1 clinical trials. They highlighted that 2022 will be a key year for Beacon 101 clinical trial for Beam 101 targeting sickle cell disease. They said Beam 102 for SCD will be put up for IND enabling in the second half of 2022. They also expressed the intention to nominate a second liver-targeted development candidate in 2022. Around the same time, Beam Therapeutics made a big splash announcing an exclusive 4-year multi-target research collaboration with Pfizer to advance novel in vivo base editing programs for rare diseases. Beam received $300 million upfront for this alliance and became eligible of further milestone payments of up to $1.05 billion. The solutions under this program would be made using liquid nanoparticles or LNP as delivery mechanism and base editing as the technology. And under this agreement, Beam would get 35% of profit in exchange for 35% of cost and commercialization and development. So fast forward to May 9, 2022, in their earnings report, they reiterated intention to submit IND application for Beam 102 in second half of 2022. They also announced patient enrollment had begun for Beam 101. So that was positive news. They also announced that the submission of IND application for Beam 201 was anticipated in the second half of 22, while they worked towards a second CAR-T candidate. Then on August 1st, 2022, they announced the FDA clinical hold on Beam 201 IND application. And later on, we know that on December 2nd, this hold was lifted, but it did affect the share price of Beam. Then in the third quarter, their earnings report, they announced that they would forego the Beam 102 IND enabling application in 2022 and optimize program for future SCD waves. So that also caused a bit of impact to the share price. At the end of the day, here is my conclusion after looking at everything that has happened during the year for Beam. So overall, when I look at the trajectory of Beam, the bright spot of 2020 was the Pfizer tie-up worth $1.3 billion with upfront payment of $300 million. And also the other bright spot was the successful demonstration of the conditioning regime using multiplex base editing in vivo. If you recollect, I had published a video earlier this month highlighting outcome of ESCAPE-1 and ESCAPE-2 trials, which they published recently. The conclusion was that though delayed, when Beam releases its sickle cell disease treatment, it will be a next generation therapy and superior to any other sickle cell disease gene therapy in the market. and therefore they will still be in good standing. Another positive I see for Beam is that after starting Q1 reporting a cash balance of 1.3 billion, at the end of Q3 they still had 1.1 billion cash on their balance sheet. This is quite impressive in my opinion. Again, given the launch of Orbital and Prime Medicine, as well as participation of John Evans in all of these ventures, it seems to me that Beam is moving slowly, and probably their focus is not 100% on all their pipeline items. They are diversifying and they are promoting other companies. So I would have preferred if John Evans had focused fully on Beam and pushed Beam 101 much harder and bought it ahead into the market. But as an armchair critic, okay, I can say that, but we don't know the constraints and complexity that Beam is dealing with. But that said, if their best-in-class conditioning regimen succeeds, it had succeeded in vivo, but if it succeeds in therapy, in clinical trials, they can redeem themselves for the delay in executing Beam 101 for sickle cell disease. I don't have much information on their progress with Pfizer collaboration, but I suspect in Q1 2022, we may hear of some milestone from that deal. I'm also searching for any information that I can get which can link the base-edited therapy that cured a 13-year-old girl, Alicia, in UK of lymphoblastic leukemia, because it sounds exactly like the therapy that Beam Therapeutics is working on for lymphoblastic leukemia. But I have not yet found any information, neither from Beam nor anywhere on the internet. I'm keen to know if the UK team is ahead of Beam Therapeutics and if Beam will get a royalty from that therapy. If any of you have any information, please share it with me so that I can be educated on that account. Overall, right now, I think both Beam Therapeutics and CRISPR Therapeutics have my full confidence as we enter 2023. And that's all for today. I'll be working on another genomic company to review their performance in 2022 and prospects for 2023. And I'll have it to you soon. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.